What is going on, everybody? Today we are back with another video. We are fresh off the MLB draft, and there were some surprising picks. Jackson Holliday went number 1, and I thought he was going to go 2 or 3. I thought for sure that Drew Jones was going to go number 1, but he ended up going number 2. But yeah, it was a really crazy draft. Cam Collier ended up going 18 when I thought he was going to go 5. Just make sure to go check out my last video because I covered the top 5 best players that I thought were coming out of the draft. So yeah, it was a pretty good video, but without further ado, we're going to be talking about Willson Contreras today, as he is one of the players, the big players that are on the trading block this trade deadline, and he's on the Chicago Cubs, putting up a really good season, maybe his best of his career as a catcher, and he's on the Chicago Cubs, and as we all know, the Chicago Cubs are not doing anything this year, so they will sell off, and he's going to be a free agent, and with the sell-off that they had last year of Bryant, Baez, and Rizzo, they might do the same with Contreras. I expect them to do the same with Contreras. Maybe a couple pitchers too they'll sell, like a Robertson. But today we're going to be talking about some trades that could happen with Willson Contreras and where he might go for the season, and if he might sign with them long term. Who knows? Let's talk about it. A shocking team that I think could definitely be in the running to get Willson Contreras is the Tampa Bay Rays. They're not really known to make big trades like this one, but I think it could happen, as Mike Zunino is not currently on the roster. He's hurt, so I think they might want to step up their playoff game and get a solid catcher in Willson Contreras. They have the prospects to do it, definitely, and obviously they probably won't give him the money in the offseason, but they will have a playoff run to cope for Willson Contreras being on their team for half of the season. The next team we could talk about is the Yankees. Obviously, they have their solid catcher in Jose Trevino. He is one of the all-stars in the All-Star game this year, as well as Willson Contreras. But I do think if we were talking earlier in the season, you could definitely make a stronger argument for Willson to the Yankees. But now with Jose Trevino, they could still do it, but I don't think they will. Obviously, Kyle Higashioka isn't that good. So, they might get rid of Kyle Higashioka and add a Willson Contreras. But like I said before, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to stick with Trevino and Higgy as their catchers, but who knows? It could happen. If they want to get better all around, they can go out and get Willson Contreras. But yeah, prospect package they would be able to give up too. So, but like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. Another team that can go out and acquire Willson Contreras is the Houston Astros. Obviously, they're one of the best teams in baseball, and they don't really have a solid catcher. They have Martin Maldonado, but he's not really cutting it. Same with Castro, not really cutting it. So I think going out and getting a Willson Contreras would definitely help out their lineup. And, he's a solid catcher too, so why not? And they're primed for the playoffs, so he would definitely help them in the playoffs. And I also think that they would be able to sign him long-term, as they obviously have the money to do it. I think they would have to give up a Forrest Whitley, maybe a Corey Lee, and I think that would get the deal done for sure. Another team to talk about is the Seattle Mariners. I think they could do it if they are still in the playoff hunt by the time trade deadline comes around. Obviously, they're in it right now, as they knocked out Boston recently. But I do think that, a cold streak, they're on a hot streak right now, so if they go on a cold streak and they drop out, they might have to sell. But if they end up buying, they could get Willson Contreras, as they don't really have that good of a catcher. I think they have Tom Murphy right there right now, and he's good, right? He's okay, but Willson Contreras obviously is better. So I think Willson Contreras could definitely be an option. They might have to give up like a George Kirby, something like that. A pitcher, maybe an offensive piece as well. But I think they could definitely get the deal done with a couple of prospects. They have a deep prospect system as well. Another team that I think could be in contention for him is the Mets. I think they have James McCann, but I'm pretty sure he's injured. And I think if they want to go all in and try to win this division with Atlanta coming on strong, I think they can go out and get a Willson Contreras to help out that offense, because Willson Contreras is an offense-first catcher, and I think he would definitely help out the Mets. Maybe it would take something like a Britt Beattie and maybe a David Peterson, something along those lines could get the deal done for Willson Contreras. Another team that I think could also make the move is, I don't think there's going to be anyone in the Central, just because I don't think the Cubs are willing, or the other team is willing to send prospects over to the Cubs to do it. So with that being said, another team that I think could do it is the Padres. I think the Padres, right now they have Nola as their catcher, and they also have Alfaro, but I think obviously Willson Contreras is a definite upgrade. So they also have the prospects to do it. I don't know if they have as as good as prospects as some of the teams we named, but they can give up a James Wood, maybe a Robert Hassel. I know they probably wouldn't want to give up Robert Hassel, so maybe a James Wood, maybe a pitching prospect like Adrian Morejon. I know he's hurt, he's going up and down, but maybe the Cubs could have themselves a project with Adrian Morejon. So that is going to do it for today's video. Guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications. Let me know what you guys want to see down below. It's free to subscribe, so make sure to hit it, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.